Hey guys, I'm Val.
And I'm Luke.
And this is Raw Crimes, your new favorite podcast.
We're sitting down every week and diving into some of the craziest known and unknown cases true crime has.
So settle in, grab a drink, and join us. Hey guys.
I can't say hi because Val's going to say it for me because I can't say it in Russian.
You can.
I can try.
You can try.
Okay, you say it and then I say it.
Okay. Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
That was kind of close.
Exactly. That's like a preschool level Russian trying to say.
Oh my god. We just had a lot of lightning.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get the thunder involved, you know? It's kind of far away.
Yeah, I guess so. It wasn't just like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Sonny got scared.
Yeah, the one that happened like a minute ago was probably right by our place.
Yeah.
It's wild. So Val,
All right.
question.
Yes.
Why do you look like an upside down lobster right now?
Yes, I got sunburnt. A little bit on my legs. On
Just
the
a
back
little
of my
bit.
the backs of my legs.
And what were you wearing at the beach? You weren't wearing pants, right? You were wearing a bikini, so not just your legs, right?
Only a little part of my back got sunburnt. Only a little bit. We went to the beach on Sunday.
Yes.
It's now Tuesday.
It is now Tuesday.
Yes. So we
Very
went
interesting too.
a couple of days ago. Got a little teeny tiny bit sunburnt.
I mean, she looks like a lobster.
No,
so
I
that's a
don't.
teeny tiny bit. So quick little side story. Val is her skin. I'm jealous of her skin because she can tan very well and she can tan fast. Me, on the other hand, I'm like a Nordic god. I'm just kidding. I'm like a Nordic like guy who tends to grass or whatever. I don't know. But I burn very easily. And so
And recently you've been getting the sun allergy stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got that
Only
one
that
weird.
once,
We
yeah.
bring up Mexico in like every single one, but like the sun is stronger in Mexico, and I
Yeah.
guess my skin wasn't ready for it in December, and so I got
In
this weird.
December,
Yeah, I got this weird skin rash, and like it happens more often than not now, and I think that's just because I'm not out in the sun as often as I was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But
It's like sun poisoning or something like that.
oh no, it's not sun.
It's
poisoning.
not poisoning? What is it?
No, I forget what it is. It's like a
Mhm.
harmless rash. It doesn't really itch too much, but
Yeah.
it's not that bad. It's just bumpy and looks like a sunburn. But
I told you before, it looks like sea lice.
Yeah,
Like my
because your dad
used to
got
get
it.
Yeah, I mean, he got it once.
Yeah. But I was telling Val the entire time to put sunscreen on, and I was applying it like 2 times over, and guess who didn't get sunburned that much?
You got sunburned still.
Yeah, I said that much.
It's only because, well, we still put it on. I think our mistake was putting it on, and then I don't think
Mistock. I'm trying to pronounce every word wrong.
I don't think we waited long enough before we got in the ocean the first time.
But let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck. Because that was the most refreshing thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of wild. Like, when was the last time that we were out in the ocean somewhere? It's been a long time.
Yeah, we talked about this. What was it? It had to have been since Cancun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
ocean.
over 2 years ago.
Oh,
There's no way.
A year and like a half.
Something like that.
Because a year ago was summer, and then we went that like December.
Yeah. It's because, like, our first year in the city, we just didn't know what to do. We didn't really have a
Yeah.
car for most of it, so we
Yeah.
just never had the chance to go anywhere else.
Yeah. But now we have a car for a little bit. We're going to have to
Shout out
return
to
it
Anna.
soon.
Shout out to Val's sister.
Yeah, but she's going back soon. So we're going to have to give it back and figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah. You know what I found surprising? So,
Mm.
for the listeners, we went to Virginia Beach, and what I found surprising is I feel like Washington, D.C. has progressed a lot further in reopening things than Virginia Beach.
Oh, yeah. Virginia in general, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't look up how many COVID cases Virginia Beach has. I'm sure it's a lot more than D.C., but it's just surprising because Washington is a city and
Yeah.
Virginia Beach isn't, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know Virginia bitch.
Ooh. Damn. The wine is flowing.
It's because you kept calling it, let's go to the bitch.
Oh, my God. Don't tell them that. I'm a saint.
I was going to say, I don't know the numbers on Virginia Beach.
Bitch.
I say it again. But, I mean, when comparing it to Virginia, like, of course, DC's smaller. But still, I feel like we're definitely in, like, what, for sure, phase 2 of reopening? We're down to, like, 50 new cases a day, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
It's kind of insane since the Black Lives Matter protests were going on.
Yeah. I mean, that everyone was wearing a mask. Like,
Yeah.
It was mostly like left-leaning people. Like it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
People
We're getting
who
political here.
It wasn't
okay.
people who generally tend to try to disprove the effectiveness of masks.
I mean,
efficacy of masks is what I was trying to say.
This is as political as I'll get right now. I just don't understand people who don't believe COVID is a thing. Like I know people that I work with who are into conspiracy theories that it was made up by the government, or it was either made up by the government and doesn't exist, or China made it to fuck with the US.
See, the thing with that is, like, of all the shitty things this government has done, this is the time that you choose to be to be all critical of it.
Critical. I mean, earlier today I watched, I'm sure some people know about all gas, no brakes. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
I'll show you it later. It's some guy who goes around interviewing people, and he usually picks like just the craziest people, either like drunk college kids, crazy hicks that are like doing random shit, like Florida men.
I heard you watching something earlier, and it sounded very much like a drunk frat guy talking about something.
Yeah, that was yesterday, but
yes.
It's just like, it's funny cuts, it's funny editing and stuff. I'll show you it later. Oh my God, where was I going with this? But
COVID.
Yeah. There's one guy who was like, hey, you know, of course we're going to bring up a pandemic now with the presidential election coming up. He's like, I'm sure we're not going to see it for another 4 years, and then it'll pop back up.
You probably will.
I mean, it'll probably pop back up every year.
Oh, it's for sure a seasonal thing. Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to accompany the flu. Definitely.
Yeah, just like the plague. I'm just kidding. I don't know about that. Okay. I'm kind of ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't share the doc with you.
Oh, my God.
Let me do that first.
Okay.
You keep talking.
Oh, okay. Let's see how it is. I'm just the babbling entertainment.
No,
here.
you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's what in Europe, in London. Am I right or completely wrong?
So England. More, I guess, a little bit. I can say the UK because there's some stuff that is kind of mentioned about Scotland, but so UK.
Ooh, it's a multinational crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, very worldly. I'm ready. I don't know anything about this. Is this a popular case?
I mean, kind of, yeah, because it's a big, like, UK case. Shout
out to you UK listeners. We love you.
I've heard about it before. So this is one of the ones that I have heard about before, but I wanted to do it because it's just so... It's so crazy, and it's so weird. It's so weird.
You know what? So my mom is our number one fan. She listens to every single episode, and she was texting me the other day, and she was like, I'm surprised he... and this is our last episode. She's like, I'm surprised John only got 2 life sentences, right?
Yeah.
That's what he got?
I think so. I don't know.
But he killed 3 people.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. No, I texted my mom back. I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, yeah, he killed baby Gracie and he killed his wife.
Yeah.
And then she brought up that his wife was pregnant, and I completely forgot about that. So I'm surprised he only got 2 life sentences.
Yeah, I am too. My only thing I guess the only reason I see for that is they probably thought it would be harder to prove or harder to get jurors that would be like...
I mean, it's a life sentence.
Either way. Well,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Based on his age.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But like, I think for them to pursue that third life sentence would be like extra, quote unquote. Like,
yeah.
And I think like, the only reason for that I can see is that they thought that maybe it wasn't worthwhile to pursue it. Maybe it'd be harder for them.
Worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But sometimes you gotta.
I don't know. It brings up a whole other political.
Well,
talking point.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing that I'm saying is I think it would have been harder to find jurors who believed in that. Like it would have been more,
Do we know how far along she was? I'm just curious if you had that fact.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it can't have been more than a couple months.
Okay.
Can't have been more because I don't think she was showing because he was surprised by it,
Okay. Well, since we don't know, I don't want to go any further.
Yeah.
I'm waiting though. Did you send the Google Doc?
I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent it to the official Raw Crimes. I did official Raw Crimes, didn't I? Yeah. Okay.
In case you guys didn't know, and in case you've been binging since the first episode for some unknown reason.
I sent it.
Okay, I got it. We actually changed our email to rawcrimespodcast@gmail.com. Makes things a whole lot easier. And you can find everything on our website, www.rawcrimespodcast.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You should have said www. Backslash. Is that what it is? No.
HTTPS.
HTTPS //
Okay.
www.
Oh my God.
Where's the backslash?
Mary Bell.
Yes.
This sounds like a nursery rhyme.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Well, she could have been. Considering how twisted nursery rhymes are. Nursery rhymes. Nurserying.
Oh, I see you're editing in it.
Yeah.
And you're pink.
I'm not. You're pink.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Hold up. I need to
You
meditate.
can't read ahead, though.
I can't. Okay, I never.
You can look at pictures, but you can't read ahead.
I'll be honest. I've never read them. No, in the last episode when I was
pictures.
I like pictures. No, I stress out, and when I was like trying to guess what type of familicide murderer he was, I was like Patrick Starr when he was trying to sing the campfire song. I was like on my fingers, like trying to figure it out.
Patrick, see you. Song.
Oh yeah, that's another cool thing we've been.
Oh yeah.
So, we dropped 30 buckaroonies, 30 USD on this awesome SpongeBob game. I'll be honest. At first, I kind of regretted the purchase, but the game plays so nicely.
Yeah,
it is real nice. Because remember when we first loaded it up, it was like. It had all those glitches where like things were stretching across the screen.
Yeah, and we couldn't figure out how to do multiplayer with like both of the controllers.
Oh my God. Fuck multiplayer though.
No, it is so fun.
Multiplayer is not worth it. It takes like 30 minutes.
And I don't think it's fully developed because I think we got to the end and then it just like closed out and took us back to the main screen.
Yeah, that was funny.
Just like, congrats, you get nothing.
Yeah. No achievements or anything.
Yeah, but it's fun. Even though the most recent movie was not that good. I wasn't a fan.
Yo, no spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
It's just that style. I don't remember what it's about, but I don't like that style.
Yeah.
I like the first movie more.
It was more 3D. More. I know. We got halfway through it.
I know.
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right.
Let's hit it.
So, tonight we're going to be talking about, as you had said earlier, just now, Mary Bell. And it's a really, really tragic, disturbing case of the UK's youngest serial killer.
Oh, I remember you mentioned that on the beach.
I did. I somewhat did. I gave you a clue.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're starting out on May 25th, 1968. Two boys are playing in an abandoned house in Newcastle upon Tyne in England, and they stumble upon the body of 4-year-old Martin Brown. He was laying in one of the upstairs bedrooms, and once police arrived at the scene, they suspected that he had accidentally overdosed on pills that they had thought came from an empty pill bottle next to him.
I mean, that's believable.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they didn't find any visible injuries. Mm-hmm. They didn't find any signs of a struggle. Like, they just found him. And they did find that pill bottle that they made note of.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I just want to point out that was a really weird picture you painted in my head because his name's Martin Brown, and I just don't associate like a little kid with that name. And so when you said Martin Brown, I was like, oh, old man, like older, like middle-aged man on the floor dead. And then you said like 4-year-old, and then all of a sudden in my head he just shrinked to a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
It was just really a crazy picture, but
4-year-old.
Yeah.
Just terrifying, horrifying.
I mean, we kind of know where that's going. It's not an accident, obviously.
No, it is not.
Aha, spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my God.
No way.
Oh my God.
We're not talking about accidental deaths here. No way.
Okay, Martin Brown.
Yes. And like I said, there were no signs of violence. And besides, like, some blood and spit on his face, like, just, like, small, like, amounts
His spit?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like...
Oh, my God.
No, like, it's just, like, his, like, bodily fluids, basically.
Okay. Oh, God, I'm an asshole. Laughing at a 4-year-old. Oh, my God.
And, yeah, besides that, he had no visible injuries. 2 girls, Mary and Norma Bell, who they're no relation to each other.
Okay.
It's Mary Bell and Norma Bell, but no relation. Followed the boys inside, and they actually had to be ordered out by police. So, Mary Flora Bell was born...
Beautiful name, by the way.
Yes, Flora is very pretty. Was born on May 26, 1957, in Newcastle upon Tyne, in Northumberland, England.
Northumberland?
Yes. She grew up in Scotswood, which is described as an impoverished slum neighborhood on the west end of Newcastle. Newcastle upon Tyne.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And yes, I did look up how to say that because I didn't know if it was Tyne or Tin. But it's Tyne. All right. So at the time, it was pretty much like a working class community. And actually, one article I read described, quote, local children frequently playing out in the derelict streets.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of times I've seen in these articles. Oh my God.
She's having an episode right now.
I had like 3 burps in a row. Yeah. So it was a lot of that kind of like lower, like working class, like children, like unsupervised, like running around, like, and they use the word derelict a lot, like derelict houses, derelict streets. So it's just like paints a picture of like a rundown, like forgotten about town.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now.
Yeah. And
this looks exactly like a video that I saw. I think it was like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. A while back.
80s, 90s, 10s, 20s.
Yeah, no. It was like in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Where like someone was recording this worker, and her job or his job was to use a long stick and to smack people's windows to wake them up.
Yikes.
And that was their job because they wanted to wake them up for work.
Oh my.
Well, isn't that like the most... I'd say that's the most hated job.
Yeah.
Because it's like your alarm clock now.
But it's a person.
Yeah. But like brings you so much stress because it just wakes you up all of a sudden. Just like that stupid Apple alarm. Oh, God. I need to change
that little
it.
Sound.
Holy crap.
But whatever you change it to, you'll eventually feel the same way about it.
No. If it's peaceful...
You'll feel the same way about it after a while.
No, that what is it? Default. That default Apple one just hits me in the heart. Nothing hits me in the heart but that. Okay.
I set a timer for like our laundry and stuff like that, and it just.
No, it could be, if that's on the weekend. Oh my God, I have PTSD. I'm like, oh no, I've got to go in. Oh my God. But yes.
Hey, you're gonna be hearing that fairly soon at like 5.
You better sleep with your AirPods in. Okay.
That one's terrible.
So.
All right.
Derelict.
Yes.
Neighborhoods.
Derelict neighborhood.
It's kind of equivalent to what? Dilapidated? I feel like that's...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's the more common word used now for something like that.
Yeah. Just very run down, very like forgotten about. Like clearly nobody really cares about these people. Like it's just shitty. Mm-hmm. So Mary was the oldest child of Barry... Oh my God, what is happening?
No, wait, is his name Barry?
No, it's Betty.
Oh. I was like, Mary Barry? Is her mom Carrie?
No, I think because I was looking at McCricket, which is her last name, and I don't know,
McCricket?
Barry.
Oh my God,
Okay,
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. Okay, Betty McCricket, a 17-year-old, mentally unstable sex worker who was frequently not around as she worked in Glasgow. So this is where the Scotland part comes in.
You sure it's not Russia?
God. So, I mean, I've seen this. I saw this in a couple of articles talking about how she worked in Glasgow a lot as a sex worker and taking like quote unquote work trips. But
ooh, fancy.
I mean, and it's hard. It was hard for me to imagine because I was like, okay, she's commuting basically from this in Scotswood to Glasgow, and I looked it up on Google Maps just for the fun of it. Obviously, this is nothing like it was in the 60s or early 50s, I guess. And so right now on Google Maps, it says to get from Scotswood, from Newcastle upon Tyne to Glasgow, is a 3-hour drive by car. So I'm not sure how things worked in the late 1950s, early 60s.
They had cars. They definitely had cars.
Yeah, but I guess it was just
they had cars.
No, I know they did.
Slower cars.
Yeah,
heavier
I know
cars.
they did. But that's what I'm saying. It was just hard for me to imagine somebody driving at least 3 hours. It was probably like closer to like 5 or 6.
Oh shit! But that was her commute every day?
I don't think every day, but it says she was off and gone because she worked in Glasgow.
Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how that
everything
worked.
seems unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, it's about to get more unfortunate. But yeah, so I guess that was part of it because I did see that in a few articles. So I'm not disputing the fact. I'm just saying like it's a very strange detail.
Yeah. Sonny looks like he's tripping on something right now.
Yeah. He's just
now he's going to bed.
I was just petting him.
Okay.
So Mary's father is presumed to be Billy Bell. He just kicked my hand.
Because he loves you. Okay.
No.
Billy Bell.
Billy Bell. A habitual criminal who is often out of work. And so Betty married him after Mary was already born.
Okay. Oh, is Mary Billy's
daughter?
Blood daughter. Oh my God. What?
So like I never found a definitive answer. Some articles were like, yes, like she's his daughter because her mother, Betty, was married to I don't know what's happening.
Oh my God.
Am I having a stroke? I think I'm having a stroke.
Probably. Okay.
She was married to Billy, but she married Billy only after Mary was born, which is not to say that she can't possibly be his child because like you can have a kid and then marry the dad. Like you don't have to be married to someone to have their kid.
It's just less likely back in those days.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think in the time, like at that time, people were like, oh, like she can't possibly be his daughter. Like they married after she was born, you know, like the kind of thing of like having a child like in wedlock, like having a child out of wedlock, I think quote unquote was like
and the
sin,
child's name isn't Mary Snow, of course. So shout out to Jon Snow, by the way.
Yeah.
Respect.
So
don't get funky with your aunts, people.
Please don't.
Unless life depends on it. Okay. We got Billy, we got Betty, and then we got Mary.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that Mary probably was Billy's kid, just because they got married after Mary was born doesn't mean that she can't possibly be his child. Like, that's just not...
Okay, so essentially we couldn't find solid proof that Mary was...
not solid proof. I mean,
Billy's
there's no proof.
Daughter.
There's no proof, but I saw some articles bring to light the fact that, like, she might not be.
Yeah.
Like, she could be the kid. She could have been someone's child who, like, a client of Betty's.
Does this play to the story at all?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's unclear, and it just adds to her kind of turbulent childhood.
Okay. You were spending a lot of time on that subject. I was just making sure, you know.
I think it paints a picture.
No, it definitely does. Yeah. I was just, I mean, whenever we're on something for so long, I'm always like calculating in my head how this plays into the story, and I'm like, okay, so because Mary wasn't the actual blood daughter of Billy, that's why she murdered him. And she hated his guts. Okay.
He doesn't come into the story again. I was just saying that
no, it's good to get.
It's certainly possible that she could have been like a child of one of Betty's like clients. Or her husband.
Oh,
it's
God.
Unclear. It's unclear.
Jesus,
it's unclear.
I'm sorry I laughed. I apologize.
Why?
It was just funny. I don't know why. Okay.
Agree.
We got Betty, Billy, and Mary.
We figured it out. Yes. All right. So, next point. Mary might as well not have had parents, because growing up she was regularly left in the care of relatives, friends, and even like acquaintances.
Is everything okay? Val did take like 5 shrooms.
Oh my God, no, I didn't. I've never.
No, we haven't come across shrooms yet. We haven't.
No. I just skipped to the next line, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Anyways, so yeah, like as I said, Betty, her mother was like off and out of town, so she, of course, would just leave her child with like random people.
Of course, she's got to provide for the family.
Sure. So actually, on one occasion, Betty's own sister recalls Betty actually giving Mary away to a random woman that she met on the street outside of an abortion clinic, and the sister actually had to like go after that woman and like get Mary back.
Damn.
Yeah. So
we wouldn't be telling this story if your sister didn't see that shit.
We might have
been telling a different story.
That's true. Her childhood was perfect and everything was great and nothing bad happened.
She died a millionaire.
There's also accounts that there were incidents where Betty may have even attempted to kill Mary. Okay. So independent family members, like different family members, were reportedly suspicious after Mary had once fallen from a window.
Oh my God.
And another time when she accidentally, quote unquote, consumed sleeping pills. And a witness actually claimed that they saw Mary's mother, Betty, giving her the pills, saying that it was candy. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
It's all right to assume that Betty wanted to murder her daughter.
I think so, to an extent, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's all speculation, but it's a very reasonable speculation, I guess. You could say.
I think when you have like family members of the people coming forward and being like, "This was fucking weird," like, I think that paints a picture in and of itself.
I wonder what Mary was thinking when she was eating the pills, and she's like, "This isn't sweet. This isn't anything a kid would like."
Yeah. No thanks, Mom.
Mom, this is plastic. What are you trying to do to me?
So
they do look like Tic Tacs, though. Did they have Tic Tacs back in the 60s? Yes, we'll just say yes.
Sure.
Tic Tacs were invented. Here, watch this.
If you want to sue
us. On the fly. Tic Tacs were invented in 1961 by Frederd Tick.
And
Frederd, is that a name?
And Sam Tack.
and Sam Tack. They were brothers.
Tell me why I wanted to correct you to TikTok.
Oh my God. I
wanted to say it. No, it's TikToks.
TikToks? Did I say TikToks?
No, you said Tic Tacs, but all I could think about was TikTok.
Yeah, we deleted TikTok, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It was very easy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you have TikTok downloaded and you're wondering, wow, I spend too much time on TikTok, the easiest thing to do is to uninstall it, and trust me, you will not miss it. Val, continue the story. I must go get another White Claw.
Do it.
Fast. And wine.
So later in life, keeping in mind the fact that she fell out of a window, it would be discovered that Mary had suffered damage to her prefrontal cortex, which is, as you know, most commonly associated with personality and decision making. And at first, this was assumed to be as a result of falling from that window, but actually was later believed to be a result of physical abuse that Mary had suffered at the hands of her mother.
Oh my God! Sorry, I'm very slow at this. I'm going back. Go.
Mary also like later reveals she like collabs with a person who was writing a book about this, and she also reveals that she suffered continuing sexual abuse, with Betty forcing her to engage in sexual acts with men starting as early as when she was only 4 years old. I'm waiting for you to comment.
Oh, I have nothing to comment. That's
really?
Perfectly normal. No, that's fucked up. Jesus Christ. So from what you said, Mary, I assume Mary made it past childhood and teenagehood, because she's talking to someone about who's writing a book on her life or something like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
4 years old.
4 though.
Her mother was prostituting her daughter out.
Not only that, but to pedophiles. Like,
yeah, well, yeah.
Like, her mom literally knew pedophiles because they were messing her. I don't know what to say. With her daughter.
4-year-old. A 4-year-old. Jesus Christ.
For money, right? That's what you said?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. She was not doing that stuff for free. Her mother, I mean. There's no way Mary knew any better. Like, she was a literal fetus.
You know, you can always say, like, you don't... Oh, my God. This is going to sound bad, but I'm going to kind of correct it, okay? You don't really know what someone's going through, like, being impoverished like that. You know, I feel like you do a lot for money.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know how her mother was raised up. I'm not sure there's too much information on that.
I know she suffered mental illness for sure.
Yeah.
So that's not it. Like alcoholism too, like substance abuse. Like that's not an excuse, but you know.
It's like she wasn't there, you know, mentally.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So it's like it makes sense why she would make that decision, but for any rational person out there, like they would, I'm sure if someone was rational and did that, they're absolute monsters. Yeah. I don't think her mom's an absolute monster, but it's just because she wasn't 100% there. That's why I'm giving her some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think there was
I'm so articulate when I'm drinking White Claw.
Definitely like extenuating circumstances where you kind of, it's not that you understand her mother's behavior, because I don't see how you could ever understand that, but you kind of, what's the word?
What? Not understand.
No, it's definitely not understand. There's absolutely no way to understand that. But I don't know. I think everyone understands what we're saying. I think people understand that when you are a 17-year-old with a child, not holding a steady job, you know, you're a sex worker. You do certain things that are fucking horrifying.
In today's day and age, though, I think it'd be less common for that.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
because,
it's all bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad. For everyone involved, it's bad.
We're trying to have a dialogue around it. We're not supporting any of that.
Oh, no. But we're also not like psychiatrists, so we can't really speak on.
I don't know. You know, after listening to that Malachi Love Robinson.
Oh, that was a crazy. when we were on our way to Virginia Beach and back, we re-listened to like some of the My Favorite Murder episodes, and we listened to one about Malachi Love Robinson.
I watched some of his videos.
The 17-year-old, who pretended to be a doctor and.
So good. So good.
I'm sorry, I can't speak on that right now.
I don't like how you're portraying this interview. I'm just gonna end it here. Like, oh my God, what a guy.
He's like 18.
No, the thing that's the best is like him covering up the MD with a sticker.
And then like, I I didn't authorize them to put that there. Or whatever
it was an
you
accident. I didn't authorize it.
Yeah. Like that changes anything.
But Malachi, he's a whole other story. But so far we've got Billy, Betty, and Mary. We don't know if Mary's the true daughter of Billy, but that doesn't really play a part.
Most likely
we know that Betty prostituted her own daughter, Mary, when she was 4.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, at the very least 4.
Yes.
I'm excited to see where this story goes. It's setting up for something totally crazy. I know that.
It's all going uphill for sure.
Okay, hold up. I don't know that saying. I don't understand. Like, going uphill, what does that mean? Like, it's like mean? Getting harder and it's like shittier?
No. Oh, well, no. I was making a sarcastic comment about how it's getting better, but it's not.
Oh, so going uphill is getting better?
Well, I mean, yeah, like you're like getting up there, like it's getting better, like it's going up.
Okay.
That's how that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god. No, well, like whenever I hear that saying, I'm just like, going uphill, that sucks. But
well,
like,
yeah,
it means it's getting better. Okay.
Well, but what if you're like flying uphill or driving uphill, you know?
Going up to Beverly Hills. I get it now. Okay.
Highway to okay, so or stairway to heaven. Okay, so
highway to hell.
that's what we're on. So outside of the home, Mary exhibited classic symptoms of a troubled life, obviously. At school, she was described by teachers as a chronic liar and disruptive. And she was also a show-off, and she had multiple instances of theft, violence, and vandalism. So clearly, attention-seeking behavior in the worst possible sense.
Mm-hmm. Right.
On May 11th, 1968, Mary was playing with a boy when he accidentally fell off a roof and was severely injured. Quote, accidentally.
On a roof, too.
Yeah, it was described. It said on multiple sources like a fallout shelter roof. So it wasn't like...
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like a building, but it was...
It wasn't a house.
Yeah.
Because, like, where are you going to see kids at? Either a school or their house.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. But it's a fallout shelter, which is more common back in those days.
Sure. Yes. At the time, this was believed to, just be a tragic accident. Like, he was severely injured.
Right. I'm sure he was screaming like, Mary did it, Mary did it, and no one was believing him or anything.
And yeah, I mean, again, however, if it was intentional, this was just the beginning of Mary's violent behavior.
Dun dun dun. Sound effect.
The very next day, 3 separate mothers came forward and accused Mary of attempting to strangle their daughters. So, like, after this incident kind of came out to, like, the general neighborhood.
As it does.
Yeah. Oh,
that's very common.
Yeah.
Once something comes out, and then other people will start coming forward.
Oh, yeah.
# me too.
And...
we're very political on this. God.
It shouldn't be political. Like, the topic shouldn't be political. But,
truth.
I was going to say, oh yeah, I was described in a few places, like, that this neighborhood was very, like, close-knit because everyone was working class. Everyone was, like, on the same level. Like, everyone was just, tight-knit.
This is the same neighborhood as Mary, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is her neighborhood, like, where she grew up, where she went to school.
The hood.
No.
in the UK.
Oh, it's just a working class neighborhood.
Hey, bro. Okay, I'm done.
So actually 3 mothers came forward and accused Mary of attempting to strangle their daughters. They're 3 separate daughters. And actually police were brought in and Mary was interviewed briefly. Mm-hmm. But ultimately no charges were pressed or like any kind of further action was taken against her.
Do we know how old Mary was when this all happened?
So this is May 11th, 1968. So she was born in 57. So what, 9 years old?
11.
11?
Yeah.
11?
57,
well, she was born on May 26th.
10 or 11.
She was 10, I think.
Okay.
She was 10, and the only reason I know that is because some things happened later, and she's 10.
Yeah, because
May.
Like, before anything else, we knew that she was 4 with the sex worker
yeah.
job, bringing in money.
And 1968 is when everything kind of happens.
Yeah, but like being interviewed by police, I don't think you'd interview a 4, 5, 6 year old.
No.
So 10's all right.
Yeah,
Still kind of weird to be interviewed by the police at that age.
Yeah.
About strangling people.
Drawing weird attention to yourself.
Yeah. Unwanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was early May 11th. Her birthday is May 26th, and that's when she turns 11.
Okay.
So she's right before she turns 11.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Where am I at?
Aha.
It's like not loading.
Oh, really?
I can't scroll down. Okay, here we go.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, I gotta know. Okay,
it's
so
called Raw Crimes for a reason.
All right,
this is a very raw podcast.
This takes us to May 25th of May. That one that I mentioned earlier, when 4-year-old Martin was found in the abandoned house. So, again, no one really knows what happened that day between Mary and Martin, though it's known that whatever did happen led to Mary strangling him in that abandoned house.
What?
When she returned with Norma, the friend that she was with that first time, that's when they came across the 2 boys who had actually already found Martin. So they kind of like beat them there, beat the girls there, the second time
Not
around at least.
Not physically, just as in a race.
The next day on Mary's birthday, like I said, May 26th is her birthday when she turned 11. Norma's father had found Mary choking his daughter, and so it was said that he like slapped her in the face and sent her home.
Jesus.
That's a weird image, but you see she was choking his daughter. Like, it must have been severe enough to, I don't know,
warrant a slap.
Yeah, but again, just send her home.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Sent her home, like, I would walk her home, and I would bring that up to her parents, saying...
Well, her parents might not have been there.
True.
Very likely that they were not there. I know at some point her father Billy was arrested for like assault or something like that, and he was in jail for a spell.
Such a rough life.
Oh yeah.
Something I personally couldn't imagine.
Mm-mm.
You know.
I don't think most people can ever imagine this.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to understand, like, why people do these sort of things. Like, why Mary's doing things to this Martin Brown kid. It's Martin Brown, right?
Martin Brown, yeah.
And like strangling other kids. It's if you're raised in normal circumstances, it's just kind of alien to you to see all this behavior happening. I'll be honest. Yeah. I choked a kid out in elementary school. It wasn't me, okay? It was another kid. He said, "Hey, choke this kid out." And I was like, I'll pretend. And so I did it. And then the kid, I swear, the kid came up behind me and like grabbed my hands. And he's like, yes. He's like, he was like, okay, I don't know. I got in trouble for it. It's not too bad. I'm normal now. The kid was fine. I wasn't choking him.
That's good. That's a good clarification to make.
I wonder if my mom remembers that.
Probably.
Yo, Mom, text me if you remember that.
So sometime later that day, actually, on her birthday, after she was sent home by Norma's dad, she and Norma, again, broke into and vandalized a local nursery school, leaving behind notes confessing to the crime.
And this is all when she's 10, 11?
She's 11 now, yeah.
Okay. Well, wow. This is kind of weird. I wouldn't think a 10 or 11-year-old would do any of this. Like, a teen?
Yeah,
sure.
No.
Wow, she's so mature.
And they're leaving behind notes confessing to the crime. And I actually have a picture of it. It's a little farther down. It's on the next page.
I'm scrolling as you speak.
But one of the notes read, we did murder Martin Brown. She spelled it wrong. She spelled A-I-N.
Martin,
yeah.
Holy shit.
And then she wrote, fuck off, you bastard.
That's insane.
There's more to it, yeah. She really takes credit for the crime. Obviously, she doesn't sign it, but...
Yeah, but I'm getting chills down my spine just looking at this.
Yeah.
This is the shit you would see in, like, the horror movies that we watch, you know, the cliches where it's always a kid writing or drawing.
Yeah,
this is the handwriting that
that
kid has.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Martine Brown.
Fuck off, you bastard. When police were alerted at these, they basically just assumed that it was like a cruel prank.
No. God, police, come on, do better.
Not long after this discovery, police actually had to return to the nursery school after their new alarm system had been triggered, because they got an alarm system because they were like, apparently a series of break-ins had happened to that school. And they were only to find Mary and Norma loitering outside the school. So they actually found them like standing outside the school, just like hanging out. Mm-hmm. When questioned, they firmly denied knowing of any break-in or any notes or like anything, just any general information. And so they were released.
I mean, that just seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Just
what can you do?
Little kids saying that they had nothing to do. It's like you can't do much as a cop to them.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Which is, I think, part of why this case is so like horrifying but like interesting too. It's like I don't know.
It's not common to see a child killer.
No. 11-year-old doing all this kind of stuff, like taunting the police and doing all this.
Spoiler alert, if the note saying we did murder Martin Brown didn't give it away.
Sometime within those few days after Martin's death, his mother, June Richardson, received a knock at her door, and it was Mary, and she was asking to see Martin. So like the mother like gently broke the news of his death to her. She was like, oh, like she must be a friend of his or something, like a schoolmate, you know, somebody. So she was like, so she let her know like, oh, actually like he's deceased. And then nodding, Mary said, oh, I know he's dead. I wanted to see him in his coffin.
Jeez. Whoa.
And now in this part, I'm imagining...
Have they made a movie on her yet?
There have been like documentaries and stuff.
They need to make a horror movie on this chick.
Yes. I'm imagining a kid dressed in like all black, like a little collar, like Puritan dress, you know, being like, oh, I know.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
This is... Hollywood, this is gold right here. This is like a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, and that's like 2 points better than most of your horror movies.
Oh, like 3 or 4 at least.
Yeah, on Reddit, Ask Reddit, the subreddit, someone asked like, what's a good horror movie, or like what's your favorite, or what's the one that scared you the most, and I commented, you know, which I don't do too often, but I had to give credit where credit's due. The Ritual. It is so good. It's not only like scary.
Is that what you actually wrote?
Yeah, I said The Ritual 10 out of 10, but it's not only a scary movie, it's got a great story. And
it's like pretty. It's like scary. Yeah, like the cinematography is just like haunting. Yeah. The forest.
The scariest part for me, you tell me your scariest part after this.
I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it too much.
What's the scariest part for you without spoiling anything?
I think that first night in that cabin.
Oh yeah, you've brought that up like thousands of times.
I hate it.
Yo, yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm thinking of it. I was about to say it, but for my scariest part, I'd say most unnerving. I can't really tell which is the scariest, but it's when, like, you see what's going on through the trees. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like in the background.
It's like those little like whoop. Ooh. Oh God, no!
It's not the hand, which isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but it's just the shit you see that the director was probably like, okay, like 30% of people are gonna see this the first run through, they'll like see it the next run through, but it's like it's hidden. It's very scary. For me, for sure, the scariest like moments of it, or like I guess half, is before we actually see it. Not to say that when you fucking horrifying afterwards, but just like not knowing what they're dealing with or what's happening, or just I bet if they made it longer, I bet it would have been so much better, even though it was already amazing. If they had like an extra 30 minutes into it. Yeah, the end felt a little like the end, and I'd also argue the beginning, because if they built up the friendship in the beginning a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to our movie review podcast. Okay, so where we left off was Mary but going to the home of Martin Brown, her mom saying, oh, sorry, Martin's dead, and her saying,
I want to see him in his coffin.
I'd like to see the dead boy.
Yes. And horrified, Martin's mother slammed the door in Mary's face. Rightly so.
Yes. Thank you, Queen.
So 2 months passed with no incident until July of that year, until another boy had gone missing. So this time, 3-year-old Brian Howe from Newcastle was reported missing by his family, and immediately a search began. One that included his sister, who was like looking for him a lot.
Yeah.
While looking for him, she actually came across Mary, who had told her that she had seen Brian playing on a bunch of concrete blocks that had been dumped nearby on an empty lot. So it seems like it was like maybe a construction site or, some kind of just lot with concrete there.
Right.
Norma, actually, on the other hand, who was kind of involved, told Brian's sister that he actually hadn't been there, and so his sister kind of moved on.
Okay.
So eventually, and I'm not exactly sure the time frame, like I'm not sure when exactly he was found, but it was for sure he wasn't found the day that Mary told his sister, oh, go look here.
Yeah, it was later because because his sister didn't believe them. Because why would her brother be around there?
Yeah, and Norma was like, yeah, no, he's not there. And so she was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So again, eventually, Brian would be found on those very same concrete blocks, kind of hidden. And he was found strangled and his body mutilated.
What does that mean? What do you mean mutilated?
I'll get into it in a little bit, like the next sentence.
I'm telling folks, I look at the pictures. I'm a picture person.
His cause of death was determined to be manual strangulation. And
not automated? Come on, people. Folks, we got to get this shit automated. Okay, but yes, manual strangulation on a 3-year-old.
Hands, yep.
Not feet? Okay, hands.
And a coroner would conclude that the killer was likely a child, since very little force had been used to kill him. So, his leg, going to the mutilated part, if you're squeamish, it's not that bad, but it is, violence against children. So just trigger warning.
A disclaimer, yeah.
Yes. His legs and genitals were mutilated with a pair of scissors that were found nearby. They were found broken nearby. And the letter M was found carved into his stomach.
What?
Yeah. So the coroners...
Jesus. Was this before or after, or post, pre-mortem or post-mortem?
Let me get into it.
Okay. Pictures, people.
You're getting...
Pictures.
Yeah, that's good.
I technically read more than you because there are like how many pictures and how many words? And a picture's worth 1,000 words?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. So, the coroner's report also revealed that the letter M had been carved into his stomach with a razor and had been done a short time after death, after his blood had already quote-unquote cooled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Bless up. Oh, God.
No. The only thing I'll say about that is it meant that they basically found out that the person had returned to the scene of the crime to carve that.
Oh,
yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Because it was what, like hours after?
It must have been.
Oh my God. That is disgusting.
Yeah. It's just sadistic. Yeah.
Oh my God. I've got one point to bring up after this.
Okay.
I just want you to finish like what happened to him.
I mean that's pretty much it. That's all we hear about him, of like his condition, I guess, because immediately a police investigation was underway because this isn't an accident. This isn't someone found dead with a pill bottle next to him, and it, like as I said, it's 2 boys being found dead in the span of a couple months in the same town,
where this stuff doesn't sort of happen.
No.
Normally.
No.
I was just gonna say, since we know who's the murderer, the whatever.
Yeah, we pretty much.
I don't know if it's a spoiler alert.
I don't think so at this point.
I was gonna say, like, since she's 10 or 11 years old, that young, I'd say like around that time, the people who we'd be talking about on this podcast, who are like serial killers and just messed up people, around this time they wouldn't be killing kids or killing people in general. They'd be messing with animals, like starting with bugs, moving on to probably mammals or something.
Yeah.
But like she just went all out and went straight to human beings, like little kids.
Yeah.
Which is just absurd. And
we don't ever hear about like any kind of escalation in her point. Like, you know, like you mentioned the McDonald's triad, you know, it's what is it? Violence against animals, bedwetting, and arson. And like
that's what I had in my mind. I obviously knew about that. I know you told me about that before.
Yeah, I have. It's basically like the blueprint to a serial killer. You start out with that. There's, you know, bedwetting, signs of abuse, or whatever it was.
I killed ants as a kid sometimes.
Yeah, but
I strangled a kid. Do you feel safe with me?
Okay, but you don't progress through animals and then eventually get to humans, you know.
I love ants now. I love them. I see them and I say thank you.
So
I don't strangle kids anymore. I don't strangle kids. Oh God. Thank God this is an early episode.
God. Yes, the McDonald's triad. There's nothing about her doing any of that stuff. There's nothing about, and again, this just might be information that we don't have, you know. She could have very well done all this. I don't think there was ever anybody in her life that would have recorded this, that would have thought about it at the time, you know.
Right.
Not like her mother was around, not like her dad was ever present, you know. So she could have very well started out with animals. We just don't know.
Right. There wasn't a documentary crew just like, okay, Mary.
Yeah.
Now, this is how you kill the cat. Just do it this way, okay?
Well, and like, not saying that other serial killers had a stable childhood, but half the time they had a family, they had, you know, people.
I would hope they have families and people.
I'm saying families that they lived with, and like, you know, so yeah, so basically police began by interviewing local children, hoping to find something out about who might have committed this act, because as the coroner said, it was very likely done by a child, because the pressure was so light.
I'm interested, not interested. I'm curious why. Oh my God, what am I? Call me CDJ. Why was it the pressure? How did they know about the pressure? But the fingerprints, not fingerprints, but like, you know how they, when people get choked out, it leaves a mark.
Yeah.
Like, the mark that was left had to have been tiny, like tiny as a child, you know? Yeah,
I think in this case, it was more of, from what I understand about it, it was more of, there was no mark.
Oh.
There was no mark, but they did find out that it was strangulation because of, you know, like lack of, like you couldn't find out in a person's body, like it was lack of air, you know, the lungs fill up, like that kind of stuff. So I think they were able to find out that the cause of death was manual strangulation, but because they saw no evidence of marks, they found out that like it had to have been significant pressure for a prolonged period of time that led to, like, you know, loss of consciousness and then eventually death. But there were no marks to that were hard enough to leave a mark. That didn't make any sense. God. I have two cats playing next to me.
It's not that. I'm gonna.
We have two.
Oh my
cats.
God.
Oh.
They're fighting, but.
We're play fighting.
You said, like, every time you said Mark, for some reason, I was thinking, like, I was trying to make a joke. I was going to, but then I just said, you know what, no. I was going to make a joke that there was, like, a Mark at the scene, like some kid named Mark. And then you said like something about hard, and
No.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with that. I was just like, no, I can't.
No for this.
Not for this.
No.
No, Mr. Griffin, no.
So they didn't have to search for long, because as soon as they had asked Mary and Norma about their whereabouts, because since they were interviewing all those children, they were obviously on their list of interviewees.
Right.
And I actually read somewhere that they had passed out like a questionnaire or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, some kind of like quick outreach, to get to the youth.
Question 1: Where are you on the date of blank blank blank? Question 2: Did you murder this kid?
So, yeah, I mean, basically, when they asked,
questionnaire. This is the first time in history a questionnaire has been released to the public to asking, like, did you kill this kid? Could you let us know? Could you just make our jobs easier?
Just circle yes, and then sign right here.
Okay, so
we have a parent or guardian.
So we have 5 confirms. I don't know if they're memeing us right now.
So basically, yeah, they asked them about their whereabouts of the day, the day of Brian's disappearance, and they basically knew that they were onto something as soon as they asked them.
Mm-hmm.
So their answers were like wildly inconsistent, even though they were basically said like, yeah, we were together, but clearly they hadn't discussed this earlier.
And who are these people? We know one's Mary and then the other is
Norma.
Her sister?
No. Norma. No relation. Norma Bell, but no relation. Just a friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know who we were talking about.
Just a friend. Norma is, she's her basically like friend throughout all of this. Her quote unquote co-conspirator.
Jesus, Norma, you were probably raised a little bit more normal than her.
And Norma's 14 at the time. So she's a little bit older.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, again, their stories were very inconsistent to the point that police were like, okay, this does not make any kind of sense, and this is very suspicious.
Also, when they're interviewing them, like, they're just
looking at... Well, this is the questionnaire.
The questionnaire.
The questionnaire.
They're totally... Wait, so are they there? Like,
This is prior to actually being interviewed by any police member. So, like, this was... The reason that they decided to bring them in to be interviewed was because they got their questionnaires back and they were like, this doesn't make any sense.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was, whatever. Like during the interview, I'm just thinking like, there's an M on this kid's chest or belly, I forget. Mm-hmm. And they're just looking at Mary like, your name starts with an M. So I'm going to keep a close eye on you.
I mean, they might as well have, yeah. So again, like their answers made the police suspicious enough to bring them in for formal questioning. So Mary and Norma.
So they had to dress up.
Mary and Norma go in for questioning. Mary became especially evasive. I've seen this in a few articles. She became very defensive especially when she was told that she had been seen by several people hanging out with Brian on the day that he had gone missing.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she kind of like shut down around that. Like when she found that out, she was like, shit,
She's got nothing for that.
Yeah. And after this, sometime like a few days later, Mary was spotted outside of Brian's house, the house, on the day of his funeral. And reportedly, she was seen laughing when she saw the coffin.
What the
So just straight up horror movie child.
Yo, who are these witnesses? Like,
there's people.
I don't.
So
you gotta be there, sort of moment,
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine being a witness. Is that kind of like a sociopath thing to say, like to start talking about myself in this situation? Like, I just couldn't imagine being a witness to anything.
No, I think that's how.
It's just crazy
we frame things.
Yeah, it's just crazy how, like, you can build up a story based on, like, people, like, witnesses' accounts of things. And it's just, like, I could never imagine myself ever being in the position to be, like, walking down the street and seeing this kid's house. Like, and I'm like, oh, my God, like,
And they're like, oh, shit, that's that suspect.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking like, oh, my God. Like, I would be thinking about the family and stuff. I'd be like, that sucks. And then I just see a little girl laughing. Like, how the fuck does that, like, come about in your life?
Yeah.
It's just weird.
And it's weird, especially thinking that happens all the time. Like, that's nothing out of the normal, you know?
Kids laughing at the house where they killed another kid?
No, I'm just kidding. Being a witness to something. Yeah. That's just you going about your life. And shit happens. Like
the only thing that we've seen in the past year and a half or whatever is people going down 17th Street the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. We've seen like 20 cars do that.
Yeah.
But that's it. Nothing crazy.
I saw a car crash a couple of times, twice.
Oh, we saw the one on the way back from VA Beach, but there was no damage.
Yeah, but that was barely a car crash. Yeah. I saw one where a person the car flipped over. They were fine. They got out fine. They got out fine. My dad had to go help them, but they were fine.
Her dad's amazing. Her dad's a doctor. Shout out.
And he ran a triathlon to get to the people.
Oh
he had to bike run and swim.
Wait, did he, or is that? Or
No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, he does Ironmans. That's why she's saying that.
I'm just kidding.
I think the craziest thing I've seen is like on my way to Harrisonburg. Shout out JMU. Shout out to a lot of things, but especially JMU. I saw like a helicopter. You know, like on the highway, you're going one way. On the highway, people are going another way, and then there's that median of grass.
Yeah.
There's a helicopter on that median and like an ambulance and stuff.
Oh, is it a
So
car
someone
crash?
had to be airlifted. Yeah, someone had to be airlifted to the hospital.
That's horrible.
But I didn't get to see the body. I'm just fucking kidding. Val, okay, I say stuff for like the reactions. Val's reaction was perfect, yeah, but like God.
No.
God, like it's like maybe once a podcast I say something like that. But it's like
it's just very Toad.
I know. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's go back to Mary. I'm excited to hear about Mary. What happens to Mary Bell?
So like I said, not long after, she was brought in for a second interview. I don't know if I said that.
Oh my God, she's getting the job!
But I'm saying it.
She's getting the job. She got brought back for a second one.
Okay.
You got to get closer to the mic, Chica.
Well, so actually this time around, Mary made up a story about seeing an older boy with Brian that day, and that he apparently was even carrying a pair of broken scissors. So, might not seem very significant to you or I, but to police, this was very significant because immediately they knew that they were close because this detail was never disclosed to the press. So the public didn't know anything about scissors. They didn't know anything about any mutilation. It was something.
She dug herself No, she's 10. She dug herself a 3.5 foot hole.
Yep.
However tiny she is.
She's tiny.
4 feet, 5, whatever. She dug herself a hole, people.
Yeah, it was something that only the investigators and Brian's murderer knew.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How did they know it was scissors? In the autopsy, they could figure that out?
Well, they found the pair of scissors nearby the body.
Wow.
It was like broken scissors, and they basically were able to like match it to the marks made on.
That's insane. Because her saying that just ties her completely.
Yeah,
like there's
that's when they were hooked.
If they can't find a guy or anything or whatever, she's number one suspect no matter what.
And that's the other thing. They completely ruled that out too. They were like, there's no kid. I don't think instantly, but from what I read, I don't remember exactly what article I read this in. I mean, we'll link all of this into the description. But they basically were able to rule that out. They were like, there's no boy next with him. It just makes
sense. Her laughing at the house, as well as witnesses seeing her hanging out with him.
Yeah, she wasn't being very covert, you know. Yeah. Like, the police aren't idiots. They were like, okay, little girl, like, you're messing up.
Yo, Europe, send some of your police from the 1960s over here, please. They seem a lot more, what is it? Oh my God.
Competent.
Yes. Holy shit. Wow. You knew exactly what word I was thinking. It was on the tip of my tongue, and that's the most satisfying feeling. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Let me say it real quick. This is ASMR. Ready?
Oh.
Competent. Okay.
I wanted to do that all night.
Competent.
ASMR.
Oh, it's like a sneeze, a really good sneeze. Okay.
Yes. So, but yeah. So actually, when questioned further, Mary and Norma both, cracked under pressure.
Oh my God! It was probably like 30 minutes of the cops just like.
They're kids.
I
They're
know.
children.
Yeah.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna pull this off.
Yeah.
No
Also,
way.
when I was a kid, my parents could just look at me and know if I did something.
Exactly. Imagine being in the presence of authority. Like what you
I
probably.
don't think Mary Bell cared about authority.
I don't think she
though.
did either. No.
But
But Norma for sure.
Totally.
Just immediately folded over.
No. Yeah.
Mm.
And was Norma there when Mary was? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How could you be that good of a friend?
Yeah.
Like quote unquote good of a friend.
Yeah.
Bad friend, but good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, obviously, Norma implicated.
Wait, say it again. Say obviously again.
Obviously.
No, like Snape, you know?
Obviously.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just whenever I hear that word.
And you were unsuccessful?
Obviously. Oh my God. We'll be rewatching Harry Potter very shortly now.
Up. Yeah.
We get the wands. Okay.
So
that's a whole other story.
Obviously, Norma implicated Mary, and Mary implicated Norma. So they just. Oh no, she did it. I didn't do it. She did it.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Mary's story. Yeah, Norma.
She did all that.
Norma looked at me and she's like, "Yo, it'd be cute if I wrote an M on his stomach."
And then I'm just here chilling, doing nothing wrong in the presence of a fucking murder, doing nothing wrong.
They're kind of Norma's kind of messed up. For allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old. Wow.
Yeah. And she's 14, so she's a young teen.
She's had over a decade on this kid, and she's thinking like, yeah, this is all right.
Yeah.
The kid's probably thinking, I guess this is all right. But
and I guarantee you she wasn't going to say anything to the cops.
Totally.
Until they, were on their doorstep.
Yeah.
So Norma is, definitely also fucked. Eventually, both girls were charged with 2 counts of manslaughter. Good. Because they're just like, they fucking did it.
Thank God.
Yeah, and Martin's death had actually been changed to murder because, like I said, they initially, I don't think I said this actually, they initially classified it as accidental because they were like, oh, there's no signs, there's nothing happened to him, there's this bottle of pills, it's accidental. And so it was changed to murder eventually when it was determined that he had been strangled, but no visible marks remained because the grip wasn't tight enough because it was done by a child.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to kill someone by strangulation, just do it lightly.
No, don't
sensually. Do it. God, we're just helping people out here. I swear to God, if we ever
No, we're not. No, close out. Leave right now. Leave.
Everyone has left the chat. No, I'm saying if we ever help out in anything like that, screw you, whoever did that. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Okay.
Don't do it.
So, getting to the trials.
Yes.
At Norma's trial, she confessed that she was present for Brian's murder, but that she wasn't involved, and that she had watched Mary strangle the boy. Eventually, throughout the trial, whatever, nothing was really known about the trial. She would eventually be acquitted of all charges, mostly for her role in helping lead investigators to Mary, because she flipped so early. She was just like, yeah, she did it.
Yeah.
And also because jurors believed that she was like simply brainwashed, and she was just like an accomplice. Which could be true. It could be true because, as I mentioned later, psychologists say that Mary was very manipulative.
Yeah.
So it's definitely very true.
And I don't think we brought up enough information because not enough is available, I would assume.
Yeah, we don't know anything about like Norma or their relationship, really.
So it's very hard to concretely say this or that. So, like, that makes that makes sense.
It makes sense. I definitely think that Norma was, again, I'm not operating with any kind of knowledge here. I'm simply speculating. But I think that Norma, she probably was definitely manipulated by Mary, I think, for sure. But I think at the same time, you have to be at a certain level to witness that kind of stuff. For sure to hear about it, because I didn't mention this earlier, but a bunch of kids at Mary's school and teachers and everyone, like after Martin's death, for sure, they heard a lot of like, I killed him, like I did this, I did that, you know. Mary was very, very, very into like attention-seeking behavior. She was very into bragging. She was very into all of that. So I can't imagine how much Norma heard being so close to Mary. So I think being so close to someone who says all that to you, who involves you in that, who does all of that kind of stuff for so long, I think you have to be a certain kind of person too, and you have to be somewhat okay with that.
I mean, this kind of reminds me of a story of my childhood, you know, because I love talking about myself, apparently. No, but it's just, I'm connecting this because I was friends with technically who I consider now who was the neighborhood bully. I was friends with him for a short while, and like looking back on it, I don't remember too much about how I became friends with him, but it's just like it was so much easier to be an accomplice to whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything. Like I don't remember. I really don't remember anything. I don't think we like bullied any kids or anything. It wasn't like that. I just knew he wasn't like the nicest kid in the neighborhood. And so like once I realized, like honestly, I remember the turning point though was when we found this bird's nest. No, we found this bird's nest. Okay. And the birds were alive. What? No, he didn't do anything.
Okay.
Val's giving me a look.
Okay. No, it's good.
It's a
it's good.
wholesome story.
It's good. Okay. I was gonna cover up my ears, but it's good.
So we have woods behind our house. Val, you've seen it. You've seen the woods. It's like considered a wetlands, so no house can be built on it. And we found this bird's nest. I think there were like 2 or 3 birds there, and so the neighborhood bully brought the nest over to his house, and he put it in like the bushes in front of his house because every house had those. And I was just like, no, like that's not right. Like these birds are not going to live. Their mom's not going to come back.
Don't touch them.
Yeah, don't touch them. And I told my mom about that. And so eventually we got the birds, and we eventually got them to a bird sanctuary where I've said eventually 2 times, but eventually they grew up and they were reintroduced to nature.
Were they abandoned?
Yeah, they were abandoned.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, if not, once the neighborhood bully got a hold of them, they were. But after that, they were naturalized. I don't know. They were reintroduced to nature, and they were let go. Yeah. And so that's the happy story. And so that's the turning point of when I was like done with this guy. And then funny enough, a close friend of mine ended up like becoming really close friends with him. And this was 4th grade. I remember this very vividly. And my friend who became friends with the neighborhood bully would just become a complete asshole. Like I wasn't friends with him anymore after that. It's crazy how much influence those types of people have over others, and how it changes those other people's personalities. And
like, I mean, not relating to this scenario, but it's like groupthink. You know, you're all together. You like essentially radicalize each other one way, and you all become like the most radical version of whatever you are. So
it makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, like groupthink, like if there's like a few of those quote unquote bullies, you know, you would all become like the worst. Like you would just radicalize further and further into bullies or whatever.
Yeah.
So
this episode has really shed a light on myself as a kid growing
apparently.
up. Val and I have some talking to do. I mean, I don't know. You can tell them I'm a sweetheart. I'm not that bad. I don't think.
We're gonna have to hit up my therapist after this.
Okay.
So we found out some stuff about Luke's childhood this morning.
So get this. Here's the scoop.
Okay.
I had a very normal childhood. I would argue.
So yeah. All right. Moving on to Mary's trial. At Mary's trial, however, very differently from Norma, who they tried to paint as, I mean, I don't think necessarily prosecutors or anyone tried to paint her as something.
Pause. I have to pee so bad.
Oh my god. Okay. So at Mary's trial, however, opposite of Norma, prosecutors painted Mary as a disturbed child who had killed, quote, this is a quote from the trial transcript, solely for the pleasure and excitement of killing.
Wow. That's sinister.
Oh, yeah. Court psychiatrists also were quoted as saying that Mary had, quote, classic symptoms of psychopathy and was also, like I kind of got into earlier, quote, intelligent, manipulative, and dangerous. In the end, jurors agreed with the psychiatrist's conclusion that she couldn't be fully held responsible because of her psychopathic tendencies. So they deemed her like somewhat mentally ill, you know?
Right.
And
also,
so,
she's very young.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I think the trial definitely presented a lot of like difficulties to get past in order to get like a murder conviction.
Right.
So she was but she was still convicted of 2 counts of manslaughter on December 17th, 1968.
So she's convicted at 11 or 12 years old. What happens to her?
Oh, well, she was sentenced to be detained, quote, at Her Majesty's pleasure, which I love.
What?
I love that term. I just love it.
So wait.
I love it so much.
The royalty got to determine what happens to her?
So basically the term convicted at Her Majesty's pleasure, it basically means an indefinite sentence. So it's I guess it's kind of like it's been compared to kind of like a life sentence. But not necessarily, because she can be pardoned by royalty. Yeah, or she can be released, or she can be her sentence can be commuted. I don't know. Like I didn't get into exactly how their legal system works, so I don't know exactly how that turns out. Like how that doesn't result in a life sentence, but basically she has a chance to be free. Oh yeah. So what happens? So, what happens is, before that, Justice Cusack, at her sentencing, he described Mary as a, quote, very great risk to other children, which I think is, very founded, considering she killed 2 fucking children. She was initially detained at the Red Bank Secure Unit in St. Helens, Lancashire, which is basically like a juvenile detention center for kids, juvie. She would eventually be transferred to Askham Grange Open Prison. At what age? Is this her early teens or 17, It has 18? To be. So Askham Grange is a prison for adult women. Yeah. And so the open prison part, I had to look up because I was kind of confused about that. So basically there's like 4 different systems, like for prisons in the UK, and one of them is open prison. So I bet all 4 are better than what the US has. Probably. The US is just like, throw them in a hole. Like, if they get better, they get better. Fuck them. But they probably won't. Yeah. So the open prison part relates to like people who can be trusted not to try to escape. So I didn't do too much research into it. Again, I'm not really sure what that entails. I don't know if that
was put into an open prison system.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if that means all the doors were unlocked. I don't know if that meant no guards. I don't know if that
less
meant
security. We could just say that.
Probably. Yeah, probably something like that.
We're professionals, people. Trust us. Less security.
And also, like here at this kind of prison, prisoners can also get the chance to work in the community.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, or home leave with approval, of course. They have to get full approval.
At Her Majesty's pleasure. That's hype. Can we have that?
That sounds like a Bond film.
Ooh.
Right?
That sounds...
Doesn't it?
Oh my god, I could imagine someone
saying
that. It's
like for British eyes only, you know, or for Her Majesty's eyes. Like, it's just it's very British.
God, we're gonna have to watch all of Harry Potter. Gonna have to watch the Daniel Craig movies.
We still have to get Pierce Brosnan.
GoldenEye, yeah.
Brosnan.
We were in the middle of GoldenEye before I passed out, right?
Something like that, yeah.
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 We'll have to get through that.
Yeah, we'll keep saying yeah.
Right. So it's actually from here, though, that Mary escaped with 2 other inmates in September 1977.
Holy shit. 20 years old, people.
They were actually found 3 days later.
Good.
Nothing to worry about. And Mary's punishment was no prison privileges for 28 days. I'm not sure what that entails.
I was in the middle of a yawn, but very much needed because what that escaping prison 28 days of like a slap on the wrist pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So in the meantime, her mother was all over the tabloids. So Betty comes back into the picture.
Hello, Betty.
And she was actually selling stories to the press and writings that she claimed were Mary's. And so basically, I've seen a bunch of articles saying that these writings that she was selling and like promoting and all that kind of stuff, saying like...
were fake.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
I mean, that's basically it. That's what some people were saying. We don't know, of course. We don't know. But, she was selling a lot of stuff. It's
highly likely.
It's very, very, very highly likely.
Do we know what some of them were saying?
No, that's what I was trying to find for a while, too. I was trying to find exactly what these writings were, but apparently they were basically, like, proving, like, her psychopathic tendencies. So it must have been, like, really fucked up, weird stuff. So we don't know, really, if Betty was writing these and passing them off as her daughters or if they actually were her daughters.
Still trying to profit off of Mary.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And
she jumped on that. Yeah, for sure.
She's extremely responsible for how Mary turned out.
Yeah, for sure.
Offering her 4-year-old to clients, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Pedophiles,
Johns.
100%. Oh my God. And they, like, pretty much all, I'm not going to say all. A lot of those people were not caught. Like,
No,
that's
I
just
don't think
scary
so.
to think. Just how many pedophiles are out there.
Because I don't think at the time that prostitution or engaging in prostitution, I guess, as a man was an offense. I'm sure it was as a woman being a sex worker. I'm sure she was at risk a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But I don't think the men ever had to face any kind of legal troubles.
God.
Which is, yeah.
Okay. So her mom's trying to sell these tabloids
successfully. She sold a lot of stories. Yeah, she made a lot of money. She profited off of Mary. Again, I'm saying a lot of money. I don't know how much money she made, but she did profit off of her daughter's jail time or imprisonment.
Yeah. All
right. So Mary Bell was released from Ascom Grange.
Sounds like Azkaban.
In 1980, when she was 23 years old, after having served 12 years.
That sounds too early.
Imagine being released next year after serving 12 years in prison.
Talking to me right now?
Well, yeah, no, yeah. Us.
Yeah.
We're 22.
I'll be honest, I can't think back to before I was, I'd say like 16, 17. I don't know what the fuck I was doing from 12 to whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine being in jail for 12 years, like in the next few months. That's crazy. 12 years.
No, I doubt there was much rehabilitation there.
No, I don't think there could have been. And also, 12 years is nothing for killing 2 kids.
Exactly.
2 kids, 3 and 4-year-olds. Insane. So she was granted a new name and full anonymity, and 4 years later, she actually gave birth to a daughter. In 1998, when Mary's...
gave birth in 1998?
No, okay. She gave birth in, 1984. So she was released in 1980, and then 4 years later, she gave birth.
So 14 years later after the birth of her daughter, in 1998.
In 1998, yep. When her daughter was 14, they were actually found out by reporters, and they had to flee from their home with bed sheets over their heads. This was like a real thing that happened. And this was actually when her daughter had finally found out the truth about her mother. Because until then...
Holy shit. Is she normal now? Normal. I'm just going to say it.
Who?
Mary.
We don't know. There's nothing known about her. So...
Well, it just seems like her, that story. Is that the last story that we know about her? Or is there something else?
I mean, not...
Cause I was
kind of, yeah.
Because I was going to say, her 14 years, and, she's raising her child, and she's fleeing from people, reporters who found out who she was, where she lived. And, no other stories came out about her, and she hasn't been arrested or anything. It seems like she's more rationalized now.
Yeah, which it could 100% be the case. But it could also be the case that... Here, I'll get into it in a little bit. This next sentence, actually. Her daughter found out the truth about her mother when she was like, "Oh, what the fuck? These reporters are trying to what?" So initially, Mary's daughter's anonymity, because she was granted anonymity, was set to expire when she turned 18. However, Mary went on to win a high court battle to have her and her daughter's identities protected indefinitely. So, again, I'm not really sure exactly how all of this, how all the nuances of this work, but if she was, again, I don't think she was ever arrested, but if she was, or if something had happened, I don't know if we would know about it.
Oh my god! Oh.
So I don't know.
No one can know.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what this entails.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So.
Fuck. Shit.
Actually.
Shaq West. Okay. That's actually crazy because I don't know. There's kind of no real ending to this story because we don't really know what happened to her.
Yeah, and by all accounts, it seems like she settled down, quote unquote, had a kid, all that kind of stuff. So she could just be laying low, or again, she could be completely protected by this law. And also,
she could be in jail. Her daughter could be in jail. We don't know. No one knows.
And again, I don't know exactly 100% how that works. Maybe we would know if they were arrested. Maybe we would know all this and this and this, but I don't know.
Right.
Because there's no details about it. So actually, kind of fun fact, in the UK, any court order that protects a person's identity indefinitely, especially a suspect's identity indefinitely, is referred to as the Mary Bell Order.
Whoa.
Yeah. Kind of a legacy you made for yourself, you might say.
I don't know if that's a good or bad legacy.
Yeah, right?
'Cause that's kind of like witness protection program, right?
But worse, because you're not a witness. You're a suspect, and you
Is it only for suspects at that time?
I don't think so. I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Not 100% sure. I saw in some articles it was someone's identity protected indefinitely, forever.
I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, but then
I've only known about witness protection program.
But then in some cases, yeah, I saw it where it was a suspect whose identity was protected indefinitely.
That's
without
crazy.
end.
What the fuck? Because what suspect, aka like someone who committed a heinous crime, would be able to commit some sort of crime where they'd be able to be released eventually?
Yeah.
And then have that chance to have the Mary Bell.
Well, this lady was released after killing 2 kids. I mean, of course she was a child. Yeah.
That's the thing. She was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, if an 18-year-old did that, life sentence for sure.
Yeah. So it has to be like some kind of extenuating circumstances where you need that anonymity and a judge grants you that anonymity.
I'm curious to hear more people who have been granted that.
Yeah. In order for you to be able to live your life.
Yeah. Obviously not knowing where. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's crazy to think about.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Do we have that here in the U.S.?
I don't know. Probably. I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. I know, or I mean, at the very least, I know people who have been released from prison.
Personally?
No. From like high profile cases where they changed their names and they kind of lived on the rest of their lives. But I don't know if they were actually ever protected by the state. One name who comes to mind was, I don't know if you know Sylvia Likens.
I have no clue.
She was a kid. She was a girl, basically, who was, like, tortured to death. It was fucking horrible. But Gertrude Benishevsky, who was the woman who was responsible for her death, was charged, convicted,
released eventually.
Released eventually, yeah. She died not that short. She died not that long after from, like, liver cancer or something. But she lived under a new name.
Wow. Yeah. That's insane.
But I've never heard about anything about like protective custody basically for suspects who are released.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a crazy case.
Yeah.
You don't hear too often of child murderers who are children, because I remember we were walking on the beach towards that like US base whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's a child murderer. I was like, I had a feeling it was like gonna be some crazy psycho who killed a kid. And then Val was like, no, like a kid who killed other kids.
I was like, your reaction, it doesn't make sense to me. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
People kill kids, I don't want to say all the time, but
dumpster baby.
But yeah, I was like, no. It's a child who was a murderer.
Yeah. That's very rare.
Yeah. All right. Finishing this out. In 2009, it was actually reported that Mary had become a grandmother. Woo, yeah.
How do we get this knowledge?
I'm kidding.
I
don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Wait. It was reported by who?
I don't know.
Whomst?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It had to have been either her or her daughter or her granddaughter.
Her granddaughter, like 2 years old, is like.
As soon as I started that, I was like, no.
Her granddaughter. Wait, do we know it's a granddaughter though?
I don't know. No, it could have been grandson.
Okay, I was gonna say that's a lot of women in this story.
Yeah.
Strong gene.
And actually, after she'd become a grandmother, the Mary Bell order, was updated to include. So I guess. So I said it was updated to include her in anonymity as well. I don't know if I miswrote that to include her. I don't know if I've meant to say to include him or them, because maybe I took her from grandmother and I just assumed it was female.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But to include
the grandchild
in
that anonymity clause.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, do they have to keep updating it as that?
I don't know.
As that lineage continues?
I guess for the meantime, unless they want to not do it. Unless they opt out of it eventually. I have no idea.
It's like an email opt-out. That's going to be interesting. That'd be crazy. Like, I'm sure one day on Twitter we'll be seeing, like, Mary Bell trending. and then it'll be like, this is who Mary Bell was, like,
If
because
I were
either
a
she
grandchild,
died
I'd be
or
like, hell fucking yeah. 2009 she became a grandmother. So
oh,
that kid is
whoa, kids were born in 2009.
the grandchild was born in 2009.
What the hell? That's crazy.
And
it's kind of crazy to think that kids are being born now, 2020. Imagine being a baby in 2020.
I'm honestly surprised that her daughter has never come forward.
Maybe it's for the sake of her mom though.
Or her kid now. Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think her case is that. I don't know.
In the UK, it is.
It's definitely famous.
In the UK, it is.
But like, what's the
not
harm
here,
in
not
coming
here.
out?
Oh, the harm is.
Okay.
You hear it all the time. You hear it all the time. Like we've seen cases where it was like, what am I thinking of? It was. Oh, in The Outsider, where remember the woman, like her husband was accused of being a child murderer, and her kids were like forced out of that school because they were being bullied and like she was being harassed. Like people are fucking assholes. Like, you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, she's presumably still alive today. You know, nothing's been said about her death.
57, yeah. Very likely.
She's 63 years old today.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's in protective custody, like I said, at a secret location. And again, I don't think anything else will likely ever be known about her or her daughter.
I'd like to think that she's able to live a normal life, even though she committed heinous crimes and like literally ended 2 other lives.
Yeah.
Who didn't even get past childhood.
4 years old. No. Yeah.
It's very weird for me to say that. I hope that her and her family's living normal lives now, but it's just because she was brought up in such a fucked up life that if she has any sort of normalcy, that just is a nice little touch to the story, nice ending to the story, you know?
Yeah, if only for the people that she brought into the world. If only for her daughter and her grandchild. Because, you know, I bounced...
Do you not wish her the best?
You know, that's what I was...
It's very weird. It's a touchy subject, definitely.
I bounce back and forth at a lot. I think, personally...
And I haven't had that much time to think about this. 1, I'm under the influence, and 2, it's only been like an hour and 30 minutes since I've known about this. But you've had a lot of time to think about it, so what are your thoughts?
I've been back and forth. I think you probably know that I personally always, you know, not always on the side of the person, like the suspect or, you know, the criminal or whatever. Not in any case. But I never want someone to be killed by the state or be tortured or be you know, needlessly I guess tortured, because I consider like solitary confinement torture, that kind of stuff. So I think there's always a chance for rehabilitation. I think there's a high chance for rehabilitation because she was so young, but I don't know. I can't
it's hard to say.
I can't get past a 3 and a 4-year-old boy being strangled to death.
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know. I don't know how you make up your mind. I can't imagine being a juror on this case.
Yeah.
I can't imagine seeing this all play out. I can't imagine seeing...
that's when everything's happening, you know?
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, let's say you're Mary Bell and you're like 40 years old. Like, let's say you've been living a normal life since you were 23, sort of, whatever is normal to you. It's just like once you're, I don't know. It's very difficult to say, like, I hope that she gets to live a normal life after doing what she did when she was a kid.
Hope she's all right. Yeah.
It's weird.
I for sure don't want her to be, no. I want her to suffer knowing that she killed 2 kids.
I hope she lives with regret for her entire life.
And
but I don't want anyone to, like, like throw a brick at her head for that. I don't. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I'm like fighting myself right now.
I think it's normal to not want someone to be assaulted. But I think at the same time, I want, what was I going to say? I just had it in my head.
Are you talking about her kids?
Well, that.
Her kids are completely innocent, unless some shit happened. For sure.
And I hope, what I was alluding to earlier, I hope this doesn't lead to, I hope it hasn't led to any kind of abuse.
Yeah.
At the hands of Mary Bell, because we often see kids of abuse kind of taking on the traits of their parents who abuse them. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. And also, I actually forgot to mention this earlier. Supposedly, according to witnesses, when she was arrested and charged with manslaughter, she had told the police officers, "That's fine by me," which was a quote that I saw in a few articles. So,
oh my God, it's just so weird because she's so young at that point.
Yeah, but that
shit I said when I was 12. Oh,
yeah, I think you can draw that line, but I think you can also say at that age, I don't think I would ever be behaving like that.
Well, yeah, I think she was much more mature for her age, just because.
That too, and I think truly she was a psychopath.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's the other reason that I have pause in giving her any kind of like.
Oh my God, I'm going back and forth right now. Now I regret everything I said. Fuck.
But I think there is the fact to take in that she is a child.
This
and
is
she's
okay. This is something like this is like literally something that like you choose,
should be studied.
Yeah,
I think she should be studied. Yeah,
and you choose like a side of the debate that you want to argue for, and like far I've just gone back and forth because I don't know. I've literally had 30 minutes to think about this, but it's an insane case. And, like, we could go back and forth for 20 more minutes on this.
Because you go between psychology of her being a psychopath, I think for sure that's undisputed. And then you also, like, appeal to humanity, where you're like, she's a kid who grew up in horrible circumstances. How can you not be fucked up when you're prostituted when you're 4 years old by your mother? You know? And, like, I don't... There's no conclusion to this. There's no conclusion.
You know what that means, right? You guys can check us out on our website, https. What? Oh, you got something else to say? You totally do.
Yeah, can we cut that?
No. We're keeping it. Just say it. What is it?
Okay, well, I was going to talk about the victims.
Oh, shit. Yes.
So yeah, like won't be known, nothing will be known about her or her daughter or her grandchild, unless they come forward. And then Martin Brown's mother, Jane Richardson, earlier, who had mentioned, said that, you know, it's all about her, quote, and how she has to be protected. As victims, we are not given the same rights as killers, which I think is an insanely, like, it's a point that we just don't think about, you know. Tonight and last night, I tried to find stuff about Martin Brown and Brian Howe. There was absolutely no articles that I could find that had any kind of information with them outside of that they were 3 and 4 years old and that they were murdered by Mary Bell.
Man, now I regret everything. I said. Come on.
No,
I feel so bad now.
There's points to both sides.
I mean, the victims, though.
Yes, but I don't know. I think it's...
oh, my God. That mom, she didn't even get to raise her child. She didn't get to know her child, you know?
Yeah. 4 years old.
That and the child didn't get to live their life.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, so last few points. If alive today, Martin Brown would be only 56 years old. And Brian Howe.
That's not old at all.
Brian Howe would be 55. Yeah.
It's like the prime of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's the end of the tragic case of 11-year-old killer Mary Bell and the murders of 4 and 3-year-olds Martin Brown and Brian Howe.
Respectively.
Yes. Well, yes. Yeah. So that's it.
I mean, we already talked about how insane this case is.
Yeah.
You guys can check us out at https / I don't know. rawcrimes.com. You can find everything out.
Podcast, right?
Oh my god. rawcrimespodcast.com. You can find everything you need on there. You can learn a little bit. You get to meet us a little bit on the About Us. You have all our social media links.
Yeah.
Links to Spotify, Apple Podcast.
Makes
it a whole lot easier.
Yes.
rawcrimespodcast.com. I mean.
Yeah, I think that's
a crazy story.
It's a head scratcher for sure.
I'm going to be thinking about it for the rest of this week. Wow. All right. Guys, thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you again soon. Hopefully this week we can work on a mini or something. And then either way, we have a really exciting case coming up.
Yes.
And a good one.
Val's very excited for it.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.